This has been an interesting and challenging year for so many of us. I feel we need to hear that we have to be kind to ourselves and realize that external events can affect our physical and mental health. Have you looked at your emotional needs throughout this past year and asked yourself what those might be? Let's take that even further and look at what you might need to do to achieve those needs. What resources do you need and who should you reach out to? We have some innate characteristics that we are born with which are reinforced by our environment. We are all certain personality patterns. Our core and patterns seem to us to just make us who we are. I am often told that I can be stubborn. Instead, I call it determined. There is something in me that is very powerful force, and it is who I am. As an example, I know I do quite easily, if ever. I start something, I have to finish it, and finish on the top. I hold myself to very high standards and I expect myself to be the best of my version. Over the years, I have really worked on and developed a more attuned sense of emotional intelligence. This is still a work in progress. Over the last few months, I have tried to gain greater understanding of my own emotions as well as of those around me. I have always had a well-developed sense of intuition. As a result, I always able to attune with others and have an insight into their emotional state. This was times difficult for me. I would have such a sense of others' emotional issues that my own self become drained by state of others' inner worlds. Have you ever felt that? Have you ever felt so close to another human being that even though their words and actions said one thing, you knew and felt something else was behind that certain and that fact? The last few months, I have observed so many people trying to work through these trying times and trying to keep up their facade, but it has been extremely hard. This morning, I was at a local grocery store pickup a few items. I wanted to make a good start to the week. Since I have been trying to eat healthier, I decided very intentional in my choices. I picked up 3 items and pressed them on the counter. Then I proceeded to the register. The cashier seemed extremely annoyed to the point that she grabbed the items, slamming each one down in a very unfriendly manner. She did not ask me if I would like a bag, but rudely asked me if I wanted a receipt. I declined. I said thank you and walked out. This was sad to me because we are in a position each day to make somebody feel good or bad. Thankfully, my day and its outcome was not determined by the very first interaction I had this morning with the cashier. I walked away, returning the grace, and in that moment in time, I had a strength to do that. About 2 weeks ago, I did not have that strength and engaged in exchange of words that left feeling really low. I have learned that sometimes we become less tolerant of differences of opinion, and after being verbally attacked on a personal level, I felt the need to defend myself. That turned into me trying to explain myself, which in turn turned into a very negative outcome. That whole exchange left me feeling drained and not at all what I had hoped for. 2 scenarios, 2 different outcomes. What was the difference? My state of mind and how I was feeling. In the earlier exchange, I was not able to withstand the person's verbal attacks because I was not in my best state of self. Not physically, not emotionally, but when we do not feel well, we are not going to perform from that place of peace. I was triggered, and the best defense became a strong offense. I called this person narrow-minded and one-sided. Now, whether or not this person was actually narrow-minded and one-sided in this instance irrelevant, I feel horrible for speaking to them in that way. I felt like I had to let myself down and giving someone that much power over my emotions. Have you ever done that and then felt that way? I used to have a very hard time allowing anyone to get close to me. I was sort of a soul drifter and trusting. To me, only the people who are close to me matter. I have often felt a sense of betrayal. I had to process this, and I had to process this and understand why. That primitive brain would just step in, jack my intelligence, and I would go into a fight mode. It was not like a combative fight, but I was always felt the need to explain myself and defend myself. But also at the same time, the emotional boundaries surrounded me, and I drew line enough, no more. Do not have the right to talk to me that way around myself. Finally, I stepped back and decided to look impersonal at this approach. And it was always combative. It was always combative, always liked to be bet, always poked at the other to make my point of view the right one. Well, I knew this about myself going in, so why did I choose to engage? I took an inventory of both sides and realized that I had better choices. I did not have to engage in confrontative situations, but could set firm boundaries for myself. Do we tend to hold on to friendships that might be toxic because we feel we should? What is it that we see in people who claim to be friends but who then feel the need to be hurtful? What happened to just having conversations and respecting both sides without attack? We certainly had some circumstances which are deal breaker situations, and those can be abusive situations. But why can't we have communication that is resolution based and to gain knowledge, or to simply share feelings without judgment? I learned that it is my place to honor myself and others. But in honoring myself, I must claim a space for safety and healing. So I ask you today, who is healing your soul and who is hurting that space? Do you walk around wearing a suit of armor, expecting conflict and arguments? If so, is it time to walk away from some people and to just simply say this relationship has run its course? We will get back what we put out in this universe. If someone depresses you, allow yourself to be alone. Energy, strength, vitality, people who feed your soul. This does not mean that you have to write everyone off that you disagree with, but allow yourself to be in a space where you can handle the ones who are draining and combative, so you can walk away leaving a healing harbor behind. Thank you. God bless you.